Hi everyone, today we will be learning about the most popular alcoholic drink in the world, beer. It is the third most consumed drink after water and tea. Beer is one of the oldest drinks humans have produced. The first chemically confirmed barley beer dates back to at least the 5th millennium BC in Iran. To know more about the history of beer, I have put the link in the description, so go and check it out. What is beer? It is a brewed and a fermented drink prepared from malted cereals like barley. Now, this fermentation is what we have all read before, but beer brings a new concept, and that is brewing. We'll talk about how beer is made, and there are 10 processes that undergoes in making of beer. First is malting. It is done at a temperature of 10 to 16 degrees Celsius. It is carried out to convert the starch present in the grains into sugar for yeast to feed on. The amylase enzyme that is present helps in this process. This harvested grains, let's say barley, is soaked in water for 3 to 4 days and then spread on the floor to germinate. After germination, these grains are dried in a kiln. Kiln is a thermal chamber like an oven but bigger. Next is milling. In this, grains are cracked to coarse powder called grist. This is done for better absorption of water. Next, in mashing, this grist is combined with water and heat for 1 to 2 hours at a temperature of 65 degrees Celsius. Then comes brewing. Now, in this, sugar and color is extracted together with non-fermentable substances which gives body to the beer. This forms a sweet liquid called wort, W-O-R-T. Now, this sweet liquid is separated from the grains and then boiled. During this boiling, hops are added to bring bitterness, flavor, and aroma to the liquid. Then, this is cooled down to 15 degrees Celsius and fermentation is done. Now, there are two types of beer, top fermented beer and bottom fermented beer. So, both have different temperature in which they are kept during the fermentation to get that specific kind of beer. We will learn about these types of beers in a later part. After the fermentation comes maturation or conditioning. Beer is cooled to around freezing point which settles the yeast and causes proteins to coagulate. This is done in large tanks of stainless steel. Even this process is different for different types of beer. Next, the beer is filtered to stabilize the flavor and give it a shine. And at the end, these are packed and labeled and sent as bottle, cask, cans, or kegs. What is top and bottom fermented beer? For general terms, these are ale and lager, respectively. The difference mentioned here is easy to understand and a part of IHM course, so do note this. Now comes the role of ingredients. Malt is obtained from germinating cereals and provides raw material on which yeast feeds on. It is responsible for the color and flavor of the beer. Water, which it basically influences the character of the beer. Hops are actually female flowers from hop vine, which has a scientific term, Humulus lupulus. This contains a bitter dust called lupulin, which has tannin and resins. Yeast is essential for fermentation. There are two types of brewer yeast. First is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is for the ale, that is top fermented beer. Second is your Saccharomyces carlsbergensis. This is for lager, that is bottom fermented beer. Quite a few would have already noticed the Carlsberg in the Carlsbergensis. And yes, the beer got its name from this, as Carlsberg is also a lager. Talking about adjuncts, there is starch and sugar. Starch gives the head retention to the beer. You would have noticed that there is a big, smooth, but quite stable foam on the beer after it's poured from the bottle, and it stays for quite long. This happens because of the starch. The foam is known as the head of the beer. Finings brings you a clear and brighter beer. Now we will be talking about the new sensation of modern world, that is draft or draught beer. You can say it either way. These beers which seems modern are actually old. Basically you would have seen taps at the bar through which beer is directly poured in glass. If not, then you might have seen in the menu directly saying that directly from the tap or draft beer. So these beer which were rated as freshest and most flavorful by the customers are draft beer. These are same as you might get in the bottle, as all the making is the same, but these are stored in pressurized kegs and with the help of nitrogen and some other gases served through the tap which is connected with the keg through the pipe. These are actually pasteurized so that the beer does not go in second fermentation inside the kegs, which, if happens, might decrease the shelf life and may cause some unwanted aromas. Beer brands. As I already mentioned, this is a most popular alcoholic beverage. So the little list of these brands don't do justice to this statement. But here are actually the most known brands worldwide. I forgot to mention the Stella Artois and Hoegaarden from Belgium and Budweiser from USA. Beer is a drink in itself. With so many flavors and aroma, it's a cocktail in itself. And so there aren't many cocktails referred with this beverage. But here are some which I think are popular. Boilermaker is made by pouring a mug of beer and then dropping a shot glass filled with whiskey in it. And well, you can imagine how many ways you can enjoy that. Berry Blue. This is a beer, Cointreau and Blue Curaçao. Now Cointreau is a citrus flavored liqueur which has mostly the flavor of orange. Numb Scotsman has beer and Drambuie. Drambuie is a cream liqueur which has Scotch whiskey with some honey and herbs and spices. The true recipe is not available, but if you taste it, you can get these prominent flavors. Now before ending the video, I would also like to mention about the December the 10th, which is known to be the National Lager Day. So now you know it, so do celebrate. Beer is personally my favorite alcoholic beverage, and I could write a thesis on this as there is too many things to know and learn. And I will make sure I share my research with you guys. Any questions, do let me know in the comment section. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and stay connected.